always a special day when I get to review a guitar. Yeah, this guitar is special for several reasons. First of which, it's the most valuable guitar I have right now. This is a brand new Gibson Explorer. Always been a fan of the Explorer shape. I got this guy, which is an Ibanez Destroyer DT555. This is the Phil Collen guitar. This is the Def Leppard guitar from the 80s. I got this in 1985. I bought it for $400 used. It was a year old. It's like the greatest guitar I ever had. I recorded so much with this. I played this at so many live gigs. So always just love the shape. What do you think of Explorers? It's just always been a cool looking guitar to me. When I think about this shape, what I think first about is generally Southern rock bands. I remember Alan Collins from Lynyrd Skynyrd had one of these, and I remember watching 38 Special. It wasn't an Explorer, but it was an Explorer knockoff. And of course, Cheap Trick, Rick Nielsen, a lot of Hamers out there. Hamers had Pete Willis from Def Leppard. Keith Williams at 5 Watt World has a brief history of the Explorer, and I'm going to put that down below as well, and it's an excellent watch. But I always wanted an actual Explorer. My father passed away back in 2006, and about a year after that, there was some money left over from his estate, and I got an Explorer, $1,150, and I had the money, and I went ahead and got it. And yeah, I'll put a picture in here or something of me with that particular guitar. Despite the crazy shape of it, it's actually easy to sit down and play with, because you can sit this right on your knee, and it's just, there you go. 2013, the company that I'm a part of got sued. We went through many years of litigation. It was stupid. We actually ended up winning the case that was brought against us, but nobody wins in a lawsuit. We lost a lot of money, and because of that, early 2014, I had to sell the Explorer that I had. I sold it for $1,000 so I could make a mortgage payment that month. That sucked bad. I put the smiley face, the happy face on, you know. I was like, oh, it's okay, it's cool, everything's cool, but it wasn't. It was tearing me up inside that I had to get rid of that guitar, because that guitar was connected with my dad, and it was just one of those killer guitars I always wanted. Now I was having to get rid of it to make a mortgage payment. Had to sell off a lot of my music gear during the lawsuit years, as I call them. But I was able to replace a lot of that in the long run after the lawsuit was over, but not the Explorer. I just decided they had gotten too expensive, and I was just not going to have one again. So this Father's Day, my son came over, and he had bought me this guitar. And I was in shock for about 20 minutes, just kind of walking around the room, like looking like, is this real? Is this really happening? Because it looks just like the one that I had to sell. And I was blown away, just absolutely floored. He remembered when I had to get rid of the one to make the mortgage payment. And he was like, it's always going to be a special guitar to me for that reason. Not just because it's an actual Gibson Explorer, but because of who got it for me and why. So when it was delivered to him, there were 2 cases. He signs for him, gets them in the house, opens one up, and one of them's this. And he's sitting there thinking, what the hell's in the other case? So his thought was, oh, they sent a hard case, not realizing there was already a hard case with it. So he opened the other one up, and it was a hard case with another Explorer in it. They sent him 2. They only charged him for 1. He calls him up. He's like, hey, guys, I got 2 of these. Did you mean to do that? Do I get a free one this week? And they didn't even realize they had done it. And he stayed in business doing that, man. He could have kept that thing, and nobody would have ever known. And he laments that sometimes, but he knows it was the right thing to do to send it back. So this is the current standard Gibson Explorer. I could not find this model on Sweetwater or Musician's Friend right now, but you can still find it at Gibson for $2,000, $1,999.00, because psychologically that makes a difference, because $2,000 would be too much, but $1,999 is okay. This is not what they're putting out now as the 70s model, which is, I believe, a $2,500 guitar. Woo! Yeah, no, this is only the $2,000 guitar. The body is mahogany, and yeah, it feels good. I mean, it really does. I grew up playing this thing, So for me, that is not heavy. For most people, it's probably going to feel like it's got a bit of heft to it because it's definitely heavier than one of these, Indonesian thin poplar-bodied Squires that I've been getting lately. Yeah, 22 frets. It's a rosewood fretboard, an actual rosewood fretboard, not Palfaro, not one of those other rosewood types. 24 3/4 inch scale. You've heard me say before, I'm a fan of the 25.5 inch scale. Doesn't mean I don't like the 24 3/4 inch scale, especially with the 12-inch radius neck on this thing, flat. It plays fast, it plays great, feels awesome. And there's something about a 24 3/4 inch scale like you get with this or this guy here that just makes you want to drop it down a little lower, down here instead of, playing up here, you're going to really jack that thing down low and just, Okay, so we've got a Graphtec nut, no cheap nut to start with, and medium jumbo frets, which are just fine. I like them. These work just fine. They work as advertised. They're frets. So, ta-da, there you go. Grover tuning machines. So again, they didn't skimp on this thing. These are not your standard junk Chinese parts. Chinese junk. Oh, wow, I almost made a joke there. Oh, it's painful. The parts on this are quality. That's why it's a $2,000 guitar and not a, $150 Squire. I have come to really love tune-o-matic bridges. In my younger days, I loved the wanking around on the tremolo and stuff, but really come to appreciate hardtails as well. And again, they didn't skimp on this. This isn't going to flake off or lean forward or backwards on you like some of the cheaper stuff from overseas might do. This has a beautiful 3-ply pick guards, white, black, white. Of course, they're not going to put a single-ply pick guard on this thing because it's $2,000. But again, why not on these other guitars, the cheap ones, put a 3-ply pick guard on it? You can't be saving dollars. You have to be saving pennies. It can't be a whole lot of difference. Black knob, black speed knobs here, which are hot. They are cool. They're just killer knobs, man. All right, so we got Grovers, 22 frets, rosewood fretboard, 3-way switch, speed knobs, tune-o-matic bridge, pickups, Burstbuckers, Burstbucker 3 in the bridge, Burstbucker 2 in the neck position. I read up a little on these, and they're both Alnico IIs, and I'm just a fan. It's that good old PAF sound, that good old rock and roll sound that came out of the late 50s. For the person playing the guitar, it's important. It's going to have a sound that I can appreciate. They sound like what a Gibson should sound like. So, came with a hard shell case. Check that out. Yeah. Nothing's going to get hurt in here unless you lob it off an airplane at 20,000 feet. So, the color looks red through my monitor here, but it's actually kind of a pinkish color, and I really like it. It's sharp. Got the little hidey hole in here to put your picks and your cable and all your tools in. Obviously, it's custom cut. For an Explorer, so it's going to be a little bigger than your standard. That's what I would expect for a $2,000 guitar. There is this thing called a Gibson accessory kit. It comes with keys to the case, owner's manual. Okay, very important. There's a place for notes. Has anybody ever written a note in here? I do declare I remember receiving this guitar in the middle of 2023 when I was but a middle-aged man. Microfiber cleany raggy thingy. Yeah, it all comes in a little bag that is reusable. And this thing, which I thought was a really nice touch. This is the Gibson guitar tool. So it's got the adjuster on it for the truss rod, and it's got all kinds of little screwdriver heads, Phillips heads, flat heads, and hex heads. I'm going to throw this in my toolbox for my guitar stuff. I imagine it's going to be very handy for a lot of the guitars I have. Still, it's a really nice touch. And again, for $2,000, I expect this. I expect some nice touches, and you do get some nice touches. This picture came with it. I think, unless I'm wrong, this is a picture of this guitar at the factory after it came off the line and was being inspected, because they also show all the check marks for everything that was checked on the guitar. So yeah, you can tell it's been through the whole inspection process. A real dude in real Nashville, Tennessee actually went through and checked the whole thing out. It's some nice touches that you don't get with a $150 guitar from Indonesia. The finish is perfect. It's just absolutely beautiful. I have no complaints about the finish. I have no complaints about the hardware. I have no complaints about the feel. I have no complaints about the sound. Setup was great right out of the box. Played like a dream, man. Low action, straight from the factory. And I like my action low, and this one was definitely low. After having my share of guitars that have had fret sprout, this feels absolutely fantastic. It's not even bound. It's just done really well. Hardware, +1. Finish, +1. Setup, +1. That's 8. Obviously, this should be a 9 out of 10 guitar. It has one problem. Of course it has one problem. For $2,000, I expect no problems. Yeah, 9 out of 10 is what this should be. If you got this guitar for $1,000, it could be a 10 out of 10, but we have a problem. And it is the coloration on the fretboard. You can see, I mean, you can see from here, the discoloration on the edge of the fretboard. You see that? I expect this to look better. I don't expect to see this kind of color, discoloration in the neckwood. And it's not the end of the world. Maybe some people find this good. I don't know. I mean, do you think, I mean, does it bother you at all? It doesn't keep me from playing the guitar. It just seems that for $2,000, you could have used a piece of wood that didn't have this kind of discoloration to it. Before this wood was made into a fretboard, it should have been rejected. That's just a big -1, guys. And this is another one where I should have sent it back. You should have said, no. Okay, here's the deal on this one, though. It doesn't bother me because I didn't pay for it. He paid for it. It's a gift. I love it. I love it the way it is. I will keep it the way it is. But if you're out there looking for a perfect guitar for $2,000, and you should be able to get a perfect guitar for $2,000, send it back. It doesn't affect the playability at all, and it doesn't affect what this guitar means to me. I don't want my son to think that I don't like it, because I do. It's an amazing guitar, and the fact that he got it for me makes it even more amazing. I just think Gibson should have done a better job with the neckwood. Maybe they just said, it's good enough. Oh, I don't know, man. That just seems... Come on, guys. This is an Explorer, $2,000, and they're selling $2,500 ones now. One other problem that I have with Gibson, and I didn't put this in the rating, is that they have gotten really lawsuit happy. And my personal experience with litigation has really turned me off to corporate lawsuits. It's not that other people are making products that look like yours, it's that other people are making products that are better than yours. So that's my little litigation rant for Gibson. I'm sure they'll take it to heart. I'm far from the first person in the last few years to get a Gibson and not have the best review of it, particularly for the money. I mean, I love this thing, but I'm not going to go out tomorrow and buy a Les Paul, a Gibson Les Paul. I'm not going to spend the money on it. And I know they're affiliated with Epiphone, but Epiphone charges you what I think they should charge you for the instrument you get. Gibson, just, I don't know. You tell me, am I off my rocker? I could be off my rocker. I've been off my rocker before and will be again. Let's move beyond that. Killer guitar, the usual. If you can go to a store and try one out, do it. You can see immediately if it's got an issue. You don't have to worry about it. You can buy it. Try it out. If it works for you, buy it. You got $2,000 to blow on a guitar and you want an Explorer, go get an Explorer. I would not recommend this for beginners. Stick to the $150 guitars if you're a beginner. If you are a beginner or you don't want to spend $2,000, Epiphone is making good guitars these days. And they have a couple of models that they're making right now that are less than half the price of this guitar. And I guarantee you they're more than half as good as this guitar. So you can get a nice Epiphone Explorer right now for a lot less than $2,000. Would I play this at a gig tonight? Yes. I would have played it the day I got it, out of the box, tuned it up, taken it to a gig, and played it immediately. This is a pro guitar. This is absolutely a professional guitar. So I'll cherish this. I'll cherish this for the rest of my life. This is going to be just a special guitar for me and one that I will never get rid of. Thanks for watching. I have a few subscribers now. It's kind of weird. It's like, that wasn't part of the plan, but hey, How you doing? Thanks for watching. Please keep making music. That's what this is all about. Thanks again for watching, and take it easy. Oh my God, get off of me. Oh God, I'm going down. Ow. That was just the case falling on my feet. I didn't need those feet. It's called a truss rod. That's what they call them these days. Okay, take three. You know, take three. It's a take three kind of day. Like even an amateur musician. Even an amateur. 40 minutes, yeah. When I don't script it, it's only 30 minutes. You know? Today it's 40 minutes. I gotta edit this. It's gonna take 3 years to edit it now. You know, I could try that and get all the words right in the right order. That would be better. All right, okay, now we're gonna stop here.